Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive with us. Today we're exploring something pretty fascinating, prompt engineering.
Prompt engineering.
Yeah, so it's basically like figuring out how to talk to AI, so it actually understands what we want. Like less about magic words, more about learning its language to get these crazy good results from it.
Right.
We've got a bunch of sources today, academic papers, a practical guide, and even a whole book on this.
That's great. It's such a crucial skill as AI gets more and more, integrated into everything we do.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're not just talking about like small stuff. We're talking writing better emails, code composing music, even designing video games.
It's kind of wild, right?
It really is.
Like one of the sources really dug into how these neural networks work, the brains of AI.
Yeah.
And turns out it's not magic. It's all about recognizing patterns.
Patterns.
From tons and tons of data.
Yeah, it really highlights how important good data is.
For sure, for sure.
And that different AI models have strengths and weaknesses, Right.
So like choosing the right tool for the job, you wouldn't use a hammer to screw in a light bulb.
Exactly. And speaking of the right tools, one source had this funny analogy about prompting being like giving instructions to a toddler.
Oh, yeah.
If you're vague, you're going to get some interesting results, to say the least.
Absolutely. It's the same with people, right? Clear, specific instructions are key, but especially with AI.
Totally. Like you need to walk it through step by step to get what you want.
That's a great way to put it.
Speaking of unexpected results, did you see that part where someone tried using AI for like emotional support after a breakup?
Oh, gosh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Definitely not the best use case.
I mean, AI can do a lot.
It can.
But it can't actually feel your pain.
Exactly. It can process information. It can even seem like it's having a real conversation.
Right.
But that deep emotional connection just isn't there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, one source talked about these control codes, which are like keywords that tell the AI to use a certain writing style or format. Oh, yeah, I loved that part. So you could say, tell it to write like Hemingway or make it sound like Shakespeare.
Yeah, totally. It's like having a ghostwriter from any era.
It's incredible. This level of control over style is something we've never had before.
For sure. So it's not just about getting the AI to do something. It's about getting it to do it with a certain flair.
Exactly.
Which brings me to something else I found super interesting. Temperature settings for AI.
Temperature settings.
Yeah. Apparently you can adjust its creativity level.
Oh, yeah. I read about that.
Like make it super wild or super focused.
It's like a dial for how predictable or crazy you want the output to be.
Exactly. So we're starting to get how to talk to AI, but like, how do we get better at it? Is it all just trial and error?
Well, there's definitely some experimentation involved, but there are ways to make it more efficient.
Okay, good.
One source talked about iterative prompting, which is essentially like having a conversation with the AI.
Oh, interesting.
You ask a question, see what it gives you, then refine your question based on the response.
So it's like a back and forth to get what you need.
Exactly. Each interaction helps you understand how the AI is interpreting you.
Gotcha.
And then you can adjust.
Makes sense. And then there was this thing about A/B testing prompts, which I know from marketing.
Oh, right.
But how's that work with AI?
Same concept. You create multiple versions of a prompt with little changes and see which one works best.
Okay, so like testing different phrasing to see what gets the best response?
Exactly. It can be really eye-opening to see how small tweaks can change the AI's output so much.
Wow. So it really is all about finding the right words.
Absolutely. Word choice has never been more important.
Right. Okay, so we're starting to understand the how of all this, but why should someone even care about prompt engineering?
Well, think about the potential. AI is already being used in so many fields, and it's only going to grow.
Oh, for sure.
Prompt engineering is going to allow us to do things we never thought possible.
Yeah.
It's like we're at the beginning of a technological revolution.
That's a great way to put it. It feels like something huge is happening.
Yeah, and trust me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to explore with this.
Okay, I'm hooked. Let's dive into some more examples and techniques.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you've got me curious. Let's look at what this can actually do. Like some of the sources mentioned market research.
Oh, yeah.
What's that all about?
Imagine like feeding an AI all this customer data reviews, post surveys, and then asking it targeted questions about what people are feeling or what they want, even upcoming trends. It's like having a whole team of analysts working nonstop, just crunching numbers and giving you insights.
That's pretty amazing. So instead of like going through all that data myself,
exactly,
the AI does it for me.
You got it.
Incredible. What else stood out to you?
I thought the education stuff was really fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
AI tutors that can adapt to each student, like personalized learning.
Oh, wow.
Or AI tools that make custom learning materials based on what a student's interested in.
So every student could have their own AI tutor.
It's wild, right?
That would be insane. Just imagine how much students could learn.
It's really exciting to think about.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, we can't forget about the creative side of things.
Oh, yeah. AI writing stories, composing music, even making art.
It's mind-blowing. Our sources had so many examples, like generating different music styles.
Yeah.
Art that looks like famous painters.
I know.
Even writing screenplays based on like plot points or characters.
And the results can be amazing. AI can like combine things in ways we wouldn't even think of.
It's true. It's really pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely. A whole new level of creative collaboration.
So we've talked about what prompt engineering is and what it can do.
Right.
Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, like what makes a good prompt?
Well, one thing that came up a lot was being super clear with your instructions.
Okay.
Vague prompts get you vague responses. It's like asking for directions, but not saying where you're going.
Right. You'll end up somewhere just not the right place.
Exactly. And it's not about using more words. It's about using the right words.
Right.
One source broke down a good prompt into parts like trigger words that tell the AI what to do, the subject and context,
Okay.
to give it background info.
So instead of saying write a poem, I might say write a sonnet about the challenges of learning prompt engineering.
Exactly. Give it more to work with.
So the more context, the better.
Pretty much.
Got it. Now, some sources mention things like token control and temperature.
Oh, yeah.
We touched on temperature before.
Right.
But what about token control?
So tokens are like the pieces of language the AI uses.
Okay.
Words, punctuation. Token control lets you like set limits like how long the response should be.
Oh, interesting.
Or even stop certain words from being used.
So like if I'm writing a tweet,
Yeah.
I can make sure it stays under 280 characters.
Exactly. And with temperature, remember that controls how creative the AI gets.
Yeah, yeah.
Like one source said, use lower temperature for facts, higher for more out there stuff.
So you're customizing it based on what you need. Okay, I think I'm getting it. But there's one thing that's still bugging me. All this talk about AI having biases.
Right.
Because of its training data, how can we use it responsibly if we don't know what those biases are?
It's a great question, and a lot of sources emphasize being critical of what AI produces.
Oh, right.
Just because it says something doesn't mean it's right or unbiased.
So we have to double check it.
Yeah, use our own judgment and be aware of potential blind spots.
Right, so it's not just about giving the AI the right instructions, but also checking its work.
Exactly. It's a partnership. We're shaping what it makes, and we have to make sure it's ethical.
I like that a partnership. Now, there was this thing called prompt chaining.
Prompt chaining.
That sounded pretty complex. What is that all about?
So it's like breaking down a big task into smaller steps for the AI.
Huh.
Instead of one huge prompt, you give a bunch of smaller ones
Oh, okay.
to guide it through the process.
So instead of saying write a screenplay,
Yeah.
I might have it create characters, then an outline, then write each scene.
Exactly. You're giving it a framework to help it think strategically.
Wow. So we're not just telling it what to do, but how to do it?
You got it.
That's wild. Okay, so we've covered a lot from basic prompts to advanced techniques, but
Yeah.
the big question is what's next for prompt engineering?
Right. The million-dollar question, and one source had a real interesting answer. What if AI could write its OWN prompts?
Whoa. Okay, that's a whole other level. Kind of blows my mind. And honestly, a little scary. What do you think?
It's definitely both exciting and a bit daunting. Imagine AI that can not only follow instructions, but come up with its own ideas
Yeah.
and solutions. It could change everything. Science, art, problem solving.
It's like AI becomes our partner in innovation.
Exactly.
But then there's the question of control and ethics.
For sure.
And what even is intelligence then?
That's a big question.
It's a future full of potential, but also potential problems.
Absolutely. We have to be careful.
This is huge. AI and humans working together like that.
Totally new era of collaboration.
Okay, I'm ready to see it in action. Let's get into some real-world examples.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've got the what and the how of prompt engineering. But now I want to hear about the wow factor, like some really cool examples.
Oh, yeah. Get ready for some mind-blowing stuff.
Okay, get me.
One source talked about how it's being used in medicine,
Oh, wow.
specifically analyzing medical images.
How?
AI is helping doctors detect diseases like cancer way earlier
Seriously?
and more accurately than ever before.
That's incredible. So prompt engineering is like saving lives.
It really is. It's making a huge difference.
Wow, that's powerful. And speaking of impactful applications, one source mentioned using it to fight climate change.
Oh, yeah.
Like using AI to analyze all that environmental data.
Right. And then developing strategies to like reduce emissions or even predict extreme weather.
So it's not just about making things easier.
No.
It's about tackling these huge problems.
Exactly. Using AI for good on a global scale.
That's amazing. And there was even something about preserving endangered languages.
I know.
Using AI to revitalize languages that are almost gone.
It's pretty incredible.
It's like we can use AI to protect culture and history.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful application.
It is. It really shows how AI can be a force for good.
Absolutely. And it's not just big picture stuff either.
Right.
Prompt engineering is changing everyday things too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. One source mentioned using it to write better marketing copy.
Oh, yeah.
Like tailoring messages to different people.
Imagine being able to like perfectly target your audience.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Yeah.
And it's not just marketing.
Nope.
There was something about using it in law, too.
Oh, yeah, lawyers using AI to go through all those crazy legal documents.
So instead of spending hours and hours,
exactly,
the AI can find the important stuff in minutes.
You got it. It's making things so much faster.
And probably more accurate, too.
It's all about efficiency and better insights.
Right. And there was that example of fraud detection.
Yeah. Oh, right. Financial institutions using AI to spot fishy transactions.
Yeah, so it's keeping people's money safe.
Exactly. It's having a real impact on security.
It's incredible. Prompt engineering is touching so many different things.
Yeah, it really is.
It feels like a must-have skill these days.
It's definitely becoming essential.
So for someone just starting out, any advice?
Well, first, embrace the learning never stops.
Okay.
AI is always changing, so stay curious and keep up with the latest stuff.
Don't fall behind.
Right. And second, don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
Have fun with it. Try different things.
That's good advice. And I'd add, it's super important to remember the human side of things.
Oh, absolutely.
AI is a tool, but we're the ones in control.
Couldn't agree more. We have to use it responsibly and ethically.
Well said. We've covered a lot today, from the basics of prompt engineering to its mind-blowing potential.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. We've seen how it's changing industries, solving global challenges, and even pushing the boundaries of creativity.
It's amazing how much impact it's already having.
And we've talked about how important it is to use it wisely.
Absolutely. The future of AI is in our hands.
So deep divers, if you want to learn more, check out the show notes for links to all the sources we talked about.
Yeah, there's so much more to explore.
You might even discover your own magic words to unlock the power of AI.
I love that.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Yeah.
Keep learning.
Yeah.
And keep asking those thought-provoking questions.